Hey, what's up, everyone? So this weekend I watched the first couple episodes of that HBO Max series about the 1980s Lakers, the greatest basketball team ever. Well, aside from the one true only uh, dream team, the '92 men's USA basketball team. Um, So I'm going to talk a bit about that show. What's it called? The Winning Time, beginning of the Lakers Dynasty, or something like this. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, uh, it had some woke moments in there. Pretty much can't watch anything these days, movie or TV wise, that comes out produced in 2022, 2021. But this wasn't too bad. So it starts off with at the time period when Dr. Jerry Buss was in the process of buying the Lakers, and he's trying to convince the owner at that time, Jack Kent Cook or whatever the hell his name was, uh, to go with Magic Johnson as the first round pick, because back then they didn't have the lottery and they had some type of coin toss between, I don't know, if it was the two worst teams or the worst team in the West and the worst team in the East, or and if trades got in there to influence who got it. But that year it was between the Lakers and the Chicago Bulls, and of course the top two players coming out that year were Magic and Bird, and Magic was victorious over Bird, well, their teams obviously, in the NC2A tournament. And for some reason, which I'm not too sure about why and how that worked, but Bird was already, it was determined that he was going to the Celtics. But beginning of the first episode, it was so much about, oh, racism, 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 and the white and black, white, black, white, black. I mean, you're talking to someone who was a fan through that whole period. Like I showed you before on a previous video, I got a picture with me and Magic. I think that was '84 when I was 14. And, you know, I'm a white guy, obviously. I'm not racist. Would I go to a Magic Johnson basketball camp if I was racist? And everyone I know that watched the sports, whether it was family members, friends, people in general, I didn't come across anyone who cared what color the player's skin was. So I understand there's still racism. There was probably more of it. Not probably, there definitely was in our society more racism back in the late 70s than there is now. But racism's a thing that is never going to be 100% fully and completely eradicated out of society. It's just like trying to say you're going to get rid of every asshole in society. It's just not going to happen. It's human nature. People don't trust people that are not part of their group, someone that's different for whatever that reason that they're different. And that comes from millions of years of evolution. So, like the leftists always uh, claim, even though they're not really doing it, but they say a lot of bullshit. Trust the science, and I go whispering like, "Joe Biden, come here, let me smell your hair." Anyways, back to the topic at hand. The other gripe I had, and I don't know if this was in the first episode or the second, when Magic shows up to the white party and the guy at the door, whites only. You're gonna say whites only, you would say white only. White means the color of your clothes. Whites means whitey, honky, cracker. But that was stupid. But the big thing, a couple moments later, when he's inside the party and he's meeting that guy Donald Sterling or whatever that jackass they used to own the uh, Clippers. So this was, according to this was before he bought the Clippers, and this show they're flashing on who's who, uh, with text across the screen explaining to you who this person is. And they put Donald Sutherland. the second biggest asshole Donald of the 80s. We all know who they think the first is. So I wasn't too happy about that. And I was thinking, if all this bullshit keeps popping up every couple minutes, I'm not going to be able to tolerate this crap. But, I'm such a huge 1980s Laker fan that, and it wasn't actually all that bad. I mean, that woke shit was very small, in my opinion. The other thing that I don't think that, when they got to dramatize stuff, and I don't know who their sources are, but, over the years, having read a few different biographies or history of the Lakers and different articles, and being a lifelong Laker fan, I guess I've accumulated some knowledge about the organization, and I have my memories from the 80s. So, how accurate is a person's memory from 40 years ago? Anyways, this show, they really make Kareem out to be an asshole. I mean, they show that scene where he was filming that scene for that movie Airplane. And so then they cut the scene, and then the little kid actor going up to Kareem, "Oh, you're my favorite player. Can I get your autograph?" And according to this, Kareem tells the kid, "Fuck off." I think Kareem was an introvert, and people mistake that for being a jerk and an a-hole. But uh, I find it very difficult to believe that Kareem was going around telling people "fuck off" all the time, because he said it a couple times, I think. And even if he did, I seriously doubt that Kareem would have said that to a little kid, 10-year-old kid, right? I mean, Kareem seems like a nice person, and he's a somewhat devout Muslim. I don't think anybody who's a religious person, whether that's Christian or Jew or Muslim or any religion, is going to go up and tell a kid to go F off for basically no reason. I mean, he probably might have thought that, but I don't think he would say that. So I wasn't so far not too happy about the depiction they did of Kareem. But the other one is Jerry West. They basically make him out to be bipolar. I think Jerry West was OCD or something. Because I remember back in the 80s, and he would talk about when he was general manager, sitting there watching the game and so tense or whatever, he couldn't even watch the game and whatnot. But they really make him out to be a major asshole so far, and bipolar or something. I'm not saying he's, Mr. fucking rainbows and unicorns, but yeah, it could be accurate. I don't know. It just, with some of the other depictions and shit that they're pulling, it makes me suspicious. And then the reasons that there's, according to this, they're saying Jerry West didn't want to draft Magic. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I find that hard to believe, because, I think Jerry West was probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest, general manager in the NBA ever. I mean, the only person that comes to my mind that would be in the same category as him is scumbag Red Auerbach. I don't know if Red Auerbach was a scumbag or not, but he seemed like a dick, and they definitely portrayed him as a fucking dick in this show. But as a Laker fan, of course I'm gonna hate Red Auerbach, right? I mean, that's the other thing too. Back in the 80s, if every all the whole NBA, and I'm not talking about just the organization itself, but the fan base and everything. If people were so damn racist, you would have had most of the country cheering for teams like the Boston Celtics, because they were, you know, they had disproportionately large numbers of white guys playing on that team and starting. Bird, McHale, Danny Ainge. They had 3 out of their 5 starting players, and probably their 2 biggest stars, Bird and McHale. Not probably, I would say definitely. You know, uh, on there. If everyone was so racist as this show's making it out to be, everyone would have rooted for the damn Celtics. But back in those days, Lakers fans hated the Celtics. It's just like the players back in those days; they hated each other. And so they also made Norm Nixon out to be a pretty big jerk, which, I don't know how accurate that is or not, but Norm did get booted with the trade that ended up bringing Byron Scott to the Lakers because, Byron Scott was a rookie shooting guard, and get rid of Nixon for him. You got a shooting guard instead of a basically two starting point guards because Nixon was a good point guard, but I mean, obviously not to the level that Magic was. That's another thing they had in this thing. They had at that party, that white party. So Norm Nixon was there, and he's talking all kinds of shit to Magic, and so they play a game of one on one, and not only did Norm Nixon beat Magic, but he made him look like a fool. And I have no idea how accurate that is, but I'm pretty sure that the guy who less than a year later would start the final game of the NBA Finals at center because Kareem was hurt and go on to have an amazing game and win Finals MVP and help lead the team to championship that year. You're telling me that less than a year earlier, he not only got beat by Norm Nixon, but was humiliated by him? That's what you call when they dramatize something, right? Which I understand, but I'm not a big fan of that because I, obviously Magic. If you're winning the MVP of the finals as a rookie, then you're already, you're coming into the NBA. There's very few players could do that, right? Come out of uh, as a rookie, he came out after a sophomore year. You got probably some people can come out of college and do that, and even fewer could come out of high school and do that. I mean, even Kobe Bryant, he came out of high school and he wasn't a starter right away. He took some time to develop, but you got a handful of guys who come in as a rookie that actually made a huge impact. So obviously, you could throw uh, Magic in there, and I guess Bird. Yeah, I think Bird won Rookie of the Year, and that helped motivate Magic to have a great performance in the finals. At least that's what I read, and I think it was his autobiography or some book about Lakers Dynasty. I read probably now, I don't know, 20 years ago. Uh, But yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna keep watching this show. It's entertaining. I like it, and like I said, anything that has to do with the Showtime era, I'm gonna be a fan of for the most part. I think. Hopefully, they keep the wokeness to a minimum. But I got off track there. So they were showing a scene with Jerry West, Bill Sharman, Jerry Buss. There might have been one other person in there. They were all golfing, and Jerry Buss doesn't want to draft Magic, and the reason why is he's saying that he's 6'9", a point guard needs to be 6'2", 6'3", otherwise 6'2", 6'3", dribble the ball from here, 6'9", he dribble the ball from up there. I mean that makes sense, but I don't really know if that much of a fucking real argument. The other idea, they're saying that Jerry West thought that he's too flashy. This is the man's sport. He's not going to be able to handle it. And then he also said that, let's take Sidney Moncrief. He averages 5 more points per game than Magic did. But anyone that knows anything about basketball, a point guard doesn't need to be your scorer. The Lakers already had one of the greatest, if not the greatest, I'll say the greatest of all time. I think he still holds the all-time record, right? The single most effective weapon ever, the hook shot. They had Kareem. So they had their primary scorer. And Magic, what was so great about him is he didn't need to score a ton of points in order to dominate a game because he'll get his 19 points per game, but he's also going to get you 10, 11 assists and 8 or 9 rebounds and just be a great team player and make everyone else around him better. And they're trying to tell me Jerry West doesn't realize that. I mean, Jerry West, like I said, the greatest GM of all time, and from my understanding, probably one of the best evaluators of basketball talent that he couldn't see that Magic was going to be better than Sidney Moncrief. So I'm not buying that. I think that whoever's making this show is getting their sources. Someone's not a fan of Jerry West, but yeah. So, anyways, hey, if you guys have watched this show, let me know what you think about it in the comments, and I'll probably keep watching it, and maybe I'll do some more videos after I watch another couple episodes and give you my opinion on what they're doing, because I think that they're not quite portraying some people accurately, and I understand they have to dramatize stuff to try to keep the viewers' attention, but really, I think the vast majority of people who are going to want to watch this are going to be basketball fans. They're going to be fans enough to where you don't have to fucking over dramatize shit and make bullshit up to keep the attention of the viewer. So anyways, I think that's going to be it for this video. Just wanted to talk about that show, and I'll probably, like I said, give some more updates after I see more of the episodes. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching the video. Give it a thumbs up. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.